Hello, my name is Saocain, and in this video I am going to talk about Azalea Clark, the newest mythic Outlander. Azalea is a space explorer Outlander, and she is the fearless captain of the VSS Gallant. Her standard perk, Space Technology, increases ability energy damage by 15.5%. Her commander perk, Space Technology Plus, increases ability energy damage by the same amount as a standard perk, but additionally, Shock Tower explodes, dealing 107 energy damage to nearby enemies. Because Azalea Clark is the Outlander, she has Anti-Material Charge. In the Zone and Loot Llama class perks. Blue charge fragments will decrease Shock Tower cooldown by 30%. Azalea Clark has Shock Tower, Seismic Smash, and Phase Shift abilities. Space Technology Plus Commander perk increases ability energy damage by 15.5%. which is quite good for all energy damage dealing abilities. But additionally, Shock Tower explodes, dealing 107 energy damage to nearby enemies. And because of this change, I can call Shock Tower Boom Tower, because Azalea's Clark Shock Tower will not do pew 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 pew. It will do a big boom. I am using Preemptive Strike team perk, because Preemptive Strike increases damage by 6.5% against full health enemies, and you are getting this bonus for every epic or high rarity hero with at least 4 stars. Which means Preemptive Strike team perk can increase damage against full health enemies by 32.5%, and I am using this team perk because Shock Tower is not firing a lot of lightning bolts. With Azalea Clark in the commander slot, Shock Tower will explode and deal a lot of damage. The first support perk in this build is Fragment Generation, and this support perk will gain 1 charge fragment every 39 eliminations. No matter how you are going to get those eliminations. Every 39 eliminations with your hero abilities, traps, ranged or melee weapons, or gadgets will give you 1 charge fragment. And as I mentioned before, charge fragment will decrease Shock Tower cooldown by 30%, so you can use Shock Tower more often. You can get this perk from Fragment Flurry Jess Outlander. The next support perk is called Plasma Arc, which has a 20% chance to zap nearby enemies for 58% of damage dealt, if the damage you are dealing is energy. If you are going to play the same hero loadout as mine, you can deal energy damage with Shock Tower, Seismic Smash, support perk Static Cling, which will deal affliction damage after a Shock Tower explosion. Stationary Hover Turret is dealing energy damage too, and if you will use ranged weapons with affliction damage, that affliction damage has a chance to zap nearby enemies too, if your weapon is dealing energy damage. So I am using Plasma Arc support perk in this build, because Shock Tower is dealing a lot of energy damage, and affliction damage from Static Cling support perk is great too. Cyberclops Outlander will give you Plasma Arc perk. The third support perk is Static Cling. Because of this support perk, Shock Tower applies Affliction, which deals 50% damage per second for 3 seconds. I think this support perk is the most important, because it will deal 150% your Shock Tower damage per 3 seconds. I like this perk a lot, if I am playing Alasia Clark in the commander slot, and you can see why later. Wild Fragment Deadeye will give you this awesome Shock Tower perk. The fourth support perk is called Survivalist, and this perk will heal you for 39 base health over 3 seconds, after every elimination. Survivalist perk will help you to survive in the battle against husks. But actually, I wanted to use different perk instead of the Survivalist perk. I wanted to use Fire of the Dragon support perk, which increases Affliction duration by 34%. This means Shock Tower Affliction damage duration would be increased for 3 to 4 seconds. So Shock Tower would deal 200% of its damage per 4 seconds. But looks like Fire of the Dragon support perk is not increasing Shock Tower Affliction damage duration. Maybe because Shock Tower is not dealing affliction damage itself, but can deal affliction damage because of the Static Cling support perk. I don't know why, but Fire of the Dragon support perk is not working in this build. So I am using Survivalist support perk instead. You can get Survivalist perk from Survivalist Jonesy. And the last support perk is Up the Voltage, which increases Shock Tower damage by 33%. I am using this support perk because I want my Shock Tower explosion to be more powerful. If you want to have this perk in your hero loadout, you need Shock Specialist AC. I am using Adrenaline Rush gadget because I think this gadget is very good if the build is struggling with survivability. And the next gadget is Stationary Hover Turret. This gadget is a good damage dealer, and because Stationary Hover Turret is dealing energy damage, it has a 20% chance to zap nearby enemies, because of the Plasma Arc support perk. I think it's a very good time to see gameplay with Azalea Clark in the commander slot. After it, I will talk about this build advantages and disadvantages. And I will rate this Shock Tower build. I mean, Boom Tower. And guys, don't worry, don't stress, because we are going to fight 140 power level physical Smasher.
Build the walls. Nope. We explore,
more enemies
searching
incoming.
for adventure and the thrill of battle.
Hey, help me out! That's incredible! Thanks again for your help. See you soon.
gonna be great.
too dangerous. I have to pull you out now.
I think you will agree that this Shock Tower variant is awesome. Let's test Azalea's Clark Shock Tower against 140 power level Physical Smasher. I am going to use Shock Tower only, so we can see how much times do I need to use Shock Tower to actually kill this Smasher. I took 7 charge fragments to kill the Smasher a little bit faster, but it wasn't enough.
Dear Mr. Higginson, it's me, Delilah's lawyer. I am writing to inform you there's a 3rd restraining order in effect. The first 2 haven't stopped you yet. She's quite upset. May I remind you, Tom, my client doesn't like you, yet you keep composing songs for her, which means you have the IQ of a brick. Couldn't hit that with a stick. Please seek help quick. Oh, we're watching you, you creep. Oh, we're watching you, you creep. Oh, we're watching you, you freak. Oh, it's what we do all week, all the stupid week. Do not address Delilah's mother as a MILF, and please desist from mailing puppy dogs and photos of yourself in plain white tees. And next time, put some pants on, please. Nice cottage cheese. My client's gone in hiding halfway across the nation, but you evidently stalked her to her undisclosed location in New York. Put it in your song, you dork. We're freaking tort. Oh, we're watching you, you creep. Oh, we watch you when you sleep. Oh, we watch you when you eat. Oh, we watched you take a leak. 1,000 miles seems pretty.
So, to kill 140 power level Physical Smasher, I have used Shock Tower, in this case Boom Tower, 15 times. I think I am going to test other Shock Tower builds in the future. So it's time to talk about Boom Tower build advantages. Azalea Clark have changed how the Shock Tower operates, and this change made it deal all the damage in one instance. I think Azalea Clark has the most powerful Shock Tower in the game, but to be sure I need to do more testing. So as I said, I think Azalea Clark has the most powerful Shock Tower in the game, which is capable of killing a huge mass of husks in a few seconds. I like Shock Tower and its capability to do pew pew, pew pew pew. But Azalea's Shock Tower has been changed into Boom Tower, and it is dealing all the damage in a single tremendous blast, which is incredible in my opinion. Let's talk about disadvantages. Hybrid Ninja Standard Perk, Fire of the Dragon, should increase affliction duration by 34%, but it isn't changing affliction damage duration for Wild Fragment Deadeye Outlander Standard Perk Static Cling. I wanted to increase Shock Tower affliction duration from 3 to 4 seconds, to be sure husks will melt completely after using Shock Tower, but I couldn't. Boom Tower is very effective against low hit points monsters, so don't expect it to do a lot of damage to missed monsters. As you saw, if you saw, I tried to kill 140 power level Physical Smasher using only Shock Tower, and I needed to use Shock Tower 15 times until that Physical Smasher died. Let's rate the Boom Tower build. Azalea's Shock Tower is a powerful, high-density monsters killer, so use it accordingly. If you are a maximum power level player, you can kill mist monsters under 100 power level zones quite easy. But don't expect it will do a lot of damage to mist monsters in high power level zones. I can rate Boom Tower build power 78 points. First of all, Azalea Clark has phase shift ability, so it means you can run away back to safety quite fast. Survivalist support perk will keep you alive too, just don't get caught in the middle of husks. 75 points. To use Azalea's Clark Shock Tower is more comfortable than the usual ability because it is dealing combined damage with a single blast, killing most husks immediately and afflicting others to melt in a few seconds. 85 points. I think Azalea's Boom Tower is enjoyable ability to use against a mass of husks, so I have found this build most fun to play Eliminate and Collect and Destroy the Encampment's missions. 87 points. Because of the Plasma Arc support perk, you should have 1 or 2 energy damage dealing weapons, and I suggest to level up your weapons to a maximum level and level up all perks to legendary, if you have enough materials. The more damage you can deal with your energy damage dealing weapons, the more damage Plasma Arc perk will deal too. 75 points. I think Azalea Clark has the most powerful shock tower in the game, but to be sure, I need to do more testing. I have found this build easy and very fun to play against hordes of monsters in the same area. I am giving 80 points to the Boom Tower build. If you have a good time watching my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified about my new creations. In the next video, I am going to talk about Blastotron Mini Pistol. I have noticed already that Blastotron Mini Pistol is a very powerful energy pistol, because I have used it in Cyberclops Electro Q Teddy build video and in this video as well. So in the next video I am going to play Ranger Deadeye in the commander slot, and Blastotron Mini Pistol will be my main weapon. So I hope you guys have found something useful in this video about Azalea Clark and her Boom Tower, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day, and thanks for watching.